Gold Fork River. I swear to God, it's like Alaska around here. It's almost 10 o'clock. Of course, it's the day after solstice and it's still light. And it's raining. And it's kind of cold. It's Alaska. And it's June. It's solstice and it's cold and rainy. Nope, sorry. It's just Heidi-ho. Heidi-ho! Hey there, welcome to Gold Fork Hot Springs in lovely western Idaho. Sorry I'm not naked this time. Anyway, I should be saying, this is our introduction to the next podventure. I'm Natalie, Cool Water Hot Sun, and you are watching Art, Science, Nature, Knit. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for jamming out to all these wonderful places with me and appreciating them. There are other people here. That's why I'm not naked. This is a really beautiful place. There are these beautiful cement pools with cobblestone tops and beautiful schistty stone bottoms that are very shiny. Lots of shininess going on around here. And the water is hot. I'm in the hottest pool. It's about 108. And we're surrounded. We're in the Gold Fork River Valley, which is a really wide, beautiful valley with meandering stream. Maybe I'll catch a little footage on the way out of here. But it'll probably be dark. And the waters are, so you're fogging up. The waters are very milky smooth, like you can really feel the creamy minerals in the water, and it's hot. So this is about 108, that one's about 105, 4, 3. It's bigger, but it's been overcast for a few days, so it's probably cooled off a little. So the water, I don't know where the source is, but I imagine it's really hot to maintain this much pool. You saw all the pools, but here are the water is coming from somewhere beyond that glass wall, and then it's being funneled in a wooden channel up into this holding tank and then out. And I'm not sure exactly how they get this one, but so I just wanted to keep you a little bit up to date on what's going on. Even though we're time traveling a lot, we're going to go after this to Joshua Tree. We're going to go back in time to Joshua Tree, but for just a couple seconds, I wanted to give you a couple little updates on some knitting projects. I won't say too much about this one because you've seen it. But the barefoot sock, the Mountain Colors barefoot sock, is coming along dandy. But we'll look at that at a different hot spring. I don't want to tell you too much about that yet. And then the skirt. I'm loving the skirt. I'm being kind of monogamous with the skirt because the yarn is incredible. It's alpaca silk. Debbie Bliss Andes. And it is...
Whoa! Where's the water
my chevrons are starting to...
Holy Moses.
This is the top. This will be the top, and then the peaks will actually come down like this.
This is, yeah. It's gonna feel cold after being in here. It does.
There.
This is like about how hot last chance is.
And you saw all the other colors,
yeah.
all the many colors that were on the floor. I'll show you again. Here's a picture. colors. Yay, colors. The colors are just going to be changing and changing at all times. Right now I'm into teal and purple and pink and burgundy. Pretty nice. And the last thing I've been working on that I sort of abandoned because it all went haywire was this lovely veil of leaves. Oh my god, you're totally fogging up. Well, doesn't matter if you don't see this. Let me see. The Veil of Leaves from Kat Bordy's book, New Pathways for Sock Knitters. She has... you can't even see it. Never mind. It all went haywire anyway. I used 8 pattern repeats instead of 7, which I needed to do because my gauge was so much smaller. And then
You gonna try and get all the way in?
the messing with the number of wing stitches and wraps and turns for the heel.
Okay,
We'll get back to that because I'm doing a really interesting reinforcement. I'm using Araucania.
do you not feel that pressure in your legs?
What's it called?
Yes.
Italia Solid.
Like, oh shit.
And it's 70% superwash, 15% silk, and 15% bamboo. It's gonna be really nice. No nylon. So the reason that's why I'm reinforcing the heel because there's no nylon. So this is Kid Seda, and it works fine when you're knitting the heel and flat, back and forth on the back of the heel. Slip stitch heel.
I'm going back over here.
But then I do a nice little trick when I go back to knitting in the round. I only want the reinforcement on the bottom of the foot. So I do this little trick. Should I tell you? I do this little trick where I
She's probably still talking.
wasn't super prepared to talk about this, but I'll tell you. I'll just insert a video later when I can really take a good video of it. But so, if I have the Kid Seda as the reinforcement with the lovely Araucania, and I'm knitting in the round, basically I would just knit, and the condition every round alternates. So, in this round, the Kid Seda is here. So the Kid Seda is only going held double for half of the round. So as you can probably predict, I'm going to knit to the end of this. I'm going to start holding them double here, where the round is the bottom of the foot, and knit with them together until I get all the way to where the other side of the bottom of the foot is. So we'll just knit over there and come back in just a sec. So then when I get to the end of where the reinforcement needs to be, just drop the Kid Seda, and of course just continue to knit in the round until I get back to where I'll just keep knitting, and then we'll get back. As you can see, what's going to happen is now the Kid Seda is, I'm going to knit around, and when I get to here, to this marker, where I want to start using Kid Seda again, oh no! The beginning of the Kid Seda is way over here. So I'll show you what to do when I get there. I got the idea to reinforce a heel by including Kid Seda along with your main yarn from Kat Bordy, and she said, I did take a sock class with her, and she said that when she uses the Kid Seda, yes, she encounters this problem where if you're knitting in the round, you catch up to where the beginning of your reinforced section is, and your yarn is on the other side, as we will about to see in just 1 second. Just 1 second. So what happens is, okay, here I am, and of course now I'm at the part where I want to reinforce my heel, and the yarn is way down here on the other side. I'm here, the yarn is over here, oh no, what do I do? And she says she just breaks the yarn, boom, every time, and that these ends will felt themselves in and they don't need to be woven in. Which seems kind of like a scary prospect to me. I would have never thought of that off the top of my head. I would be too scared to just do that. So instead, what I do is, I know that this is 32 stitches that include the Kid Seda. And so what I try to do is I measure about the length I need and bring it over here and use it. And the way I measure is I do some wraps around, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I count to 31, and so on. And normally I have a spare needle, but I seem to have misplaced it, as always. So I would just wrap, count how many wraps, and then I usually need a lot extra, so, you know, and that takes some trial and error. So 31 plus 8 more. 8. I have learned from, you know, you do it a couple times and you learn what's too short and what's too long and how many extra to add. So you have a number that you know every time, and then I'm able to just have this kind of big loop, and I bring it over here and let the tail hang down, and I hold on to the Kid Seda and get ready for my next stitch. And at that point I can put my regular yarn and my Kid Seda, and then I've got a double. And that's how on the next round the yarn will be ready for you at the beginning of this section. And so this loop that I just measured out to use that's the tail. This loop that I measured out to use will get used up as I go with the main yarn. I'm sure you get it. And so I'll just knit along. And yeah, at the end there might be a little extra, there might be a little less than you need, and yeah, if 1 or 2 stitches doesn't get knitted because there isn't enough, no big thing. And if there's a little extra, no big thing. So there'll be, you know, just a little bit of tail. Yeah, and especially after I heard Kat Bordy say that she just cuts her ends. Well then, so be it. So there you have it. And this tail will get all used up by the time I get down here to the other end.
This is hot.
Thanks for joining me at Gold for Hot Springs. And we'll go back to the cabin really quick before we stop off on our next adventure in the past. And we'll say a quick few hellos. I totally have hellos and thank yous, but I'm going to do them when I can do them justice and not screw them up. I'll scramble them right now if I do it now. But I hope you're having a wonderful summer, and thank you for coming out, and I hope you're getting out in the field. So, see you at the cabin? It's hot. So, we're just out in the little yard in the cabin. This is the view you see from those windows out this way. And I'm sitting at the desk working on the podcast. Yay! This is a pot leaf on my shirt. I made a print of an actual pot leaf. You can make prints from lots of leaves. I love making leaf prints. But anyway, that's another story. We're here to say hi to Susan, 93940, who is Susan in Monterey. And she is out there enjoying the coast, which is lovely this time of year. So hi Susan. But let's all send the love out to Marianne H., who is up in Calgary where it's been flooding. So hopefully everything's okay. I actually have family in Calgary, so but they're out on a farm, so they're probably okay. But anyway, hang in there, Marianne. Marianne is great. She's from the Netherlands, but she's living in Ontario, so hooray, Canada. And she has her own blog, Old Habits New. So check that out. It's really great. And hello, Woolly Eyes. Kathy, who's in East Hampton, New York, on East Long Island, and the nature is great there, apparently. And she taught her whole family to spin, and her daughters, and even her husband. Do you guys compete for the spinning wheel? And her blog also has a clever name called The Wool Over My Eyes. And she's awesome because she learned to knit cables just because she wanted to learn how to knit, just to do them. Wasn't even really knitting an object. So I can totally relate. I love that. I did that. And she is also interested in how did those Anasazi live out there. If you watched the last episode, with all the ruins out in the canyon countries. Yeah. So I wanted to mention to everyone, if you want to read a really good book on the subject, House of Rain by Craig Childs is excellent. Been reading that. So, yeah. Hi, Woolly Eyes. Kathy, how's it going? And random dog hiker Ellen, also from New Hampshire. How's it going? Hope you're watching. I'm going to randomly pick all you people and say hello. And maybe you're watching. And just a couple more. One of our newer members, Get a Hobby. Chris is from Minnesota, New Brighton, Minnesota. And she's awesome. She has a Barbie for a Ravatar, which cracks me up because she's very, very, very naturey. But she will go hiking in a skirt, which is awesome because who doesn't do that? But you gotta check out her blog. Her blog is really, really, really funny. She even does this whole thing about how much her yarn budget was. Keep blogging, Chris. Come on. She just has some old entries, but yeah. What else? Yeah, her blog is funny, and yeah, I can relate because she did this whole thing about how much her yarn cost her for a year. But believe me, my yarn is a line item budget in my annual budget, so I don't even want to ask people how much they spend on yarn. And another new member, Busy Happy Knitter, Althea from Detroit. Just the cutest little picture. How you doing? Hi. And one more from way back, Mary Love, Mary, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She actually wrote and said hello and said how much she likes the podcast. So thanks, Mary. You're awesome. And she also has a blog. So thanks everybody for watching. And again, I hope you're getting out on the field and I hope you're having a great time, and a great summer. Of course, these aspen leaves are usually totally flickering in the wind. And of course they're not doing it for you right now. But it's beautiful. It smells good. And enjoy Joshua Tree started in, it took me 1 day to drive from Durango to Joshua Tree, a long day. So there'll be some footage all across amazing Arizona until we arrive in the land of magic. This is Arizona, just past Four Corners, so we are in the northeast corner of Arizona in the Navajo Reservation. And it's pretty. There's lots of these little buttes, and there's lots, about 5,000 feet, maybe a little lower, so it's warmer here, it's windy, but it's cool. It's only about 65 degrees, it's still spring here. Formations are fun. There's lots of green. Just a quick roadside stop to show you what's up. And this landscape is going to change. I can just tell. It's going to be awesome. Only about 2 hours from Durango now, but it's great. And here's our little ride. Got the bike, got the canoe, got the skis, got the Subaru. We're on the Navajo Reservation, which is enormous, and everywhere you go are these octagonal buildings called hogans, and they could be they could be sticks, mud, adobe, stick frame, siding, sheetrock, anything, but they always have that same shape. Sorry to say we're not going that way. Just west of here is the Grand Canyon, probably just over that ridge. Sorry, we're going to Flagstaff, Joshua Tree instead. California, here we come! Pretty much epitomize the trip. Wind, wind, wind. More wind. All day. Wind. Oh, so much wind. outside to see these, even though I know sometimes they catch birds, but these are going so slow. Maybe that's part of their design. I don't know. But it's pretty nice. I just saw Cotillo and mesquite. Here's our first Joshua trees. We're in the Mojave now. Those, my friends, are Joshua trees. And there are ocotillos out there. And big trucks. And mesquite. And granite. Let's go. Chalk rocks. Hump. Humpty Dumpty. Ba-bump bump. Alright. Yeah, this is a good warm-up. This ain't nothing. What do you call this? Class 4? Class 3? Scramble?
A scramble. I don't think it has a class.
Scramble. I feel scrambled. Yay!
Okay.
It's hurting because it's a too tight squeeze.
Yeah, well, this is the exit right here.
Okay.
Out right now.
Use your hands and feet, Taz, and scooch down towards Bone Patch.
Scoot, scoot, scoot. Petty noodle.
Betsy Noodle, Rockadoodle, Taz Razzmatazz.
That's crazy. Bling bling.
Ball.
Shake 'em up. I'm taking video. Shake it. Yeah. Where are we, Mike? What are we doing? Yay! Yay tree.
if my words did glow with the golden sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp strung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know. Don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Rippled in still water, when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow, reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water, when there is no pebble tossed, no wind to blow, you choose to lead must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. Da, 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 da.
So that he doesn't fall out. It's like a little harness, just like in climbing.
Cool.
Yeah, Natalie, I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I doubled the amount of time on the rope.
You got 6
from
climbs
yesterday.
in?
I got 6 climbs in.
How hard?
My
Did you do some hard stuff?
my wrists are pretty like. There was one hand jam I couldn't do because I got it's like swollen from yesterday. Even though I have my gloves on, just from the jamming.
It really
I suck
hurts,
at my
I know.
jamming technique. So anyway, that's Tiggy.
Please read me.
In a minute. I haven't even had a sip yet.
Wait, I want to see those dinosaurs again. Tazzy, show me your dinosaurs again. They're really cool. I want Tazzy to show me, though. So you just found him? On the ground?
No, under a bush.
Here, hold that one.
You just were walking along and stumbled upon it? Let me see. You know.
My mom tells me maybe.
I gave him
Oh,
a clue. Here.
Wow.
What was the clue?
Why don't you come and look over here?
Let me see. They're cool. Here we are, Joshua Tree. So the rocks here are granitic quartz monzonite, which means they have a lot of light colored minerals in them, being the we're zooming in. Feldspars and quartzes. The quartzes are very bright and they're very rough. Very rough. Very hardcore, and people rock climb and tears their hands up. But the white and pink and orange are feldspars, and then the little crystalline, clear, glassy-like stuff is quartz. And there's other little dark minerals in there, micas and things. But yay! So that's this huge granitic mass that's pushing up through the earth called a batholith, and it is when you expose rock on the surface after being at depth under heat and pressure, the based on the sizes of the crystals and the natures of the crystals, the rocks start to fracture because the pressure is released, and so these are fracturing rhythmically in this kind of spacing and to this degree, and then they're called joints. They're releasing tension, basically. And then because they make cracks, those cracks weather more readily and more deeply, forming these beautiful blocky jumbo rocks. Boy, is it fun. They are so much fun. Beautiful. It's April. Very early April, just after Easter, and everything is starting to bloom. I hear they recently got some rain, so the floor is not carpeted with wildflowers, but there's a lot of green and a lot of little blooms all over everything. Oops, shadows. And it's gorgeous. So I can't tell you what all the plants are. There's grasses and little sages, Mormon tea. What is this? This probably smells good. Nope, not so much. There's many different types of shrubs, most of them prickly. Now this is a great one. This is yucca, and there are many, many, many kinds of yucca. And the fun thing about yucca is that the Joshua trees are yuccas. They're not saguaros. The saguaros are cactus. But Joshua trees are yuccas. We'll go have a closer look. Neat birds too. So here are some little upright Joshua trees. Just little single trunked they just grow. They start out little and low, even right on the ground, and then they grow, and then they branch. You can see far off in the distance a really cool branching one. Look, we'll show pictures. Everywhere the Joshua trees are in bloom too. It's so great. I believe they are, we'll go look at some closer up ones, but they're opening. These look to be opening. Many have already opened and are starting to form seeds. They're still green, but we'll have a look. Yay! These are so cool. So this is great. We've got a big, giant inflorescence, a flower cluster of the Joshua tree, right here where we can actually get up close to it and see it. So, yeah, there's just this humongous stalk, I guess, inside there. And then look, there are branches off of the center stalk, and there's multiple flowers that stick out. So let's grab one. Pluck. There's bees buzzing. what we got is, I believe, so the petals have fallen away. There's white petals, which must have been amazing a couple weeks ago when the petals were out. But basically, here we can open the, these are just bracts, just leaves basically, and open it up. You can see that is a seed pod. And down the sides, sticking out on the sides, whoa, sorry. Oh, this one is pretty young. This one's really young. See on the sides sticking out? Those are the pollen sacs. And this one looks like it hasn't put its pollen out yet. And looks like this one hasn't probably been fertilized yet. You can still see very minimally at the tip a bit of an open stigma. The little opening right there looks still open to me as opposed to other flowers that look quite pollinated. So I'm totally destroying this, of course. But here we have one that has been pollinated already. So there's the little pollen sac, the little yellow nub right there. They still look quite fresh, so they haven't been pollinated long. And then I sliced it open, so you can see inside the three, it's kind of divided in three parts. They look like tiny little smiley faces in there. But yeah, those are the newly developing seeds. Somebody else said they saw a pod, but yeah, it's pretty early on. Like I said, this one, can you see that now? I'll take some stills right now to show you better all these little structures. But yeah, it's very cool. They'll be full of seeds. The birds are going to be all over these in several weeks when the seeds are mature. Hey, check these out. These are basically the huge buds that are going to be flower inflorescences like that. There's a really pretty one. And then there's a spent one. So awesome. And of course that one looks pretty young. Like that hasn't quite opened yet. So they're all in various places in their life cycle. Good, or do they smell strange?
Smell strange.
Smell it, Taz. I think they smell strange. Here's some limbs that have died and broken off, and what the most recent thing I heard about the life cycle of the Joshua tree lately is that, I mean, I might have heard this 5 years ago, probably still true, but that they are ultimately, due to climate change, doomed because, not because they're not thriving now, they are, but the seedlings don't have enough water to take hold and to thrive and prosper into full-fledged reproducing adults. So the adults' lifespan is limited, and so once they all die off, like these guys right here, then there won't be a new population of younger ones to replace them. That's how I understand it, from one little blip one day, a long time ago. So I hope it is reversible or changeable in this dry, but not the driest of all deserts. Only time will tell. "5 miles in that direction, there's an oasis somewhere, a spring, and the birds are usually amazing in them, so maybe we'll get there if we don't get lost." Now here's something I'm not sure what to make of. Joshua trees are blooming. There's a lot, seems like a lot, of tree mortality. I guess these are potentially, well, the large trees with even the mistletoe is dead, and the scrub oaks. I'm just not sure what everything else is since it's dead, but across this whole valley are, you can see all the lifeless branches, white, all the brown mistletoe is dead, and it's across this whole valley, and it's true when you get up against the edges, against the rocks, there's a lot more green growth. And sure, there's definitely some shrubs, but there's a lot of not living things. So my first speculation is there's life in this, is lowering of the water table, the drought, pre-drought that we're in. Can't say when these all perished, but anyways, any ideas? So I brought us over here to the base of this big slopey slab to show how it forms a little ravine at the base of it, concentrating flow and water, and enough to have the ability to support trees, pines, and oaks. And I just wanted to point out that these are oaks, and that the species that we were seeing, there's one in front of us, silhouetted right in the middle, that are dying in mass, are dead. But suffice to say that it seems like the more drought-tolerant types of plants, the yuccas, the cacti, the Mormon tea, and various other things that I don't know, like that. Perhaps the ceanothus seem to be doing better. There definitely seems to be some stratification between plants that are doing well and plants that are not. So there's got to be something going on, at least in the short term, if not longer. So I guess that's all I got on that. Anybody else have any good desert ecology knowledge about this? Clue me in. Hey y'all. Does this tree look familiar? Lots of these around Durango where we've spent a lot of time hanging out. The cones are very similar to the mountain pinyon pine. This is also the pinyon pine, but look! Single needle. Pinus monophylla, I believe. It's the single leaf pine. Back home they have 2 leaves, which is the Colorado version. This is, I think, the more widespread version. There are lots of beautiful trees here, not just the Joshua trees. And we looked at the pinyon pines, and here we have a scrub oak. It's great to see trees in the desert. These are very drought tolerant, as are the pinyon pines. And actual oaks. Here are some acorn caps there. And we're finding these all over the ground. The acorns are long gone. We've been seeing lots of squirrels, lots of chipmunks. And hey, there's an acorn. A shriveled up old one, but there it is nonetheless. And a couple little guys up there. There's a couple little ones. There's the wee one. Probably no meat in that. The animals always know who. There's a few up there in those branches. And, sorry, I know that never focuses. And then there's mistletoe. This is mistletoe in the branches. Mostly I've only seen it on the oaks. So we'll go look around and see if we can see it on anything else. Oh yeah, creosote. Oh, I could smell this before I saw it. This is one of the most beautiful plants. This is a huge prickly bush, like so many of them are, and it's extremely fragrant and it's extremely good herb for one of my favorites. I will definitely, well, if it weren't a national park, maybe outside the park I'll be able to find some and collect some. It's very sticky. I don't know if you can see the glistening sticky resins that are on it, but yes. Oh, it smells so good. I wish I had smell-o-vision. Alas. I didn't tell you what the herb was good for, did I? It's, if you make an oil out of it, it's very antiseptic. I put it in my salves for first aid to prevent fresh cuts and scrapes from getting infected. And it smells good. Did I mention that? It's just too cool for words out here. These kids were calling them beaver tails, and they're getting ready to bloom. We'll probably find some other ones later, but here's a little bud waiting to happen right there. Some of these have a lot covered. We'll go see. Hear that? Jumping cholla. You just walk by them and either the little spines come off or one whole pom-pom will come off, stick in your leg or in your clothes. But they sure are beautiful. I've also heard them called teddy bear chollas. They're little trees. They're very cool. Here is an amazing example of the pencil cholla, which is a cholla like the teddy bear, the jumping cholla, but it's slender like a pencil. I really like these scale-like skins that they have, so geometric. How can we imitate it in knitting? That is always the question. Yep. Maybe that'll be our next giveaway. We'll have who can imitate a natural pattern the best in knitting. You guys game? Anybody game? I'm game. So cool. Sticky monkey flower. These really like water, so I suppose there's some dry climate adapted ones, but I think that just says that there's water at depth. Who knows how deep the roots go, but or that it's adapted to take advantage of the seasonal water that is here. But yay, they're sticky monkey flowers, just like on the coast. Yay. This is a handsome yucca with a handsome bloom. They're big, they're huge. They have sort of the same habit as the Joshua tree. They'll make a little stem, but they stay low to the ground. There's a Joshua tree for comparison. So, no trip to Joshua Tree is complete without rock scrambling. We're gonna go up. Let's go up. Who wants to go up? No. Oh no, we're surrounded. We're in a sea of rocks. Nothing but rocks. As far as the eye can see. Granite, granite, granite. Don't take it for granted. Especially when it's a quartz monzonite, which is what it is. Ah. So yeah, just a huge series of these long hogsbacks of rock surrounded by taller mountains. The white peaks might be the San Gabriels. I'll look that up. And off that way, I think the San Andreas Fault is going from left to right through the valley at the base of the farthest hill. And camp is just on the other side of those boulders right there. And we got a huge valley. And yeah, we're just on one of these long, narrow necks of rock, and there are all these beautiful valleys in between full of shrubs and bushes and trees. It's pretty great. I'm gonna go find some shade over there. Big pool. Probably fills up with water when it rains. I don't see any tracks, but I bet the animals love it. Awesome. Awesome. Hello, pod adventurers. I thought it would be cool to show you that I did actually haul some knitting all the way up here. Isn't that awesome? Look, I'm gonna get out of the way so you can see how awesome it is. It's gonna be that awesome, beautiful time of day. I just heard somebody. There are people all over this park. There's a really fun community of rock climbers here and other general outdoorsy hiker types. And so yeah, I mean, it's a populated place, even though you feel like you're in the vast wilderness, which you are. It's just, there's nice people here. So I'm working on the ribbed coin cable hat by Ivy Brambles. Ivy Brambles. That's what it says. Angela Domer. D-O-M-E-R. Yay! We're up on a dome. We're making a hat by somebody called Domer, which is appropriate. And I'm making it out of the awesome yarn that I won from Polly Knits. The baby alpaca worsted from the Plymouth Yarn Company Luxury Indicita brand. What does it say? 100% baby alpaca. Made in Peru. And it's really, last time I showed this, I didn't get very good color on it, but you're probably getting really good color now. It's so gorgeous. It's basically bluey purple with lots of flecks of maroons and of halo of greeny blue. And of course, soft ribbon. And so I got the ribbing. It's really fun. It called for 1x1 ribbing, which I started to do, and then I switched to doing So I did about a 1/2 inch of 1 by 1, and then I switched to 2 by 2, and then I switched back to 1 by 1, just to make it more interesting, and because I get bored with ribbing, of course, but also because I just recently watched this, the whole collection of Elizabeth Zimmerman doing her PBS special. I don't know when, I'll look it up, but and she said that 2 by 2 ribbing is actually stretchier and clingier than 1 by 1 ribbing. And she said, oh, you would think if 2 by 2 ribbing is good, then wouldn't 3 by 3 ribbing be better? And apparently not. And it probably has something to do with how the loops pull and resist. So I threw some 2 by 2 ribbing in there just in case it was true, and I don't know if how it'll be for it's so nice, and it's for me. And my little swatch, oh, you can actually see the cables because I did a very, very mature, very thorough swatch. I don't know how much it helped, but it's this alternating cable. So, yeah, knitting in the field, you gotta love it. It's a little bit difficult because you start out with a certain number of stitches, and then for your ribbing, and then you have like 3 setup rounds. So you switch to your larger needles, and you do these 3 setup rounds, and you're doing a lot of increasing in these sets of like you'll do one kind of increase twice, and then you'll do a different kind of set of increases twice. And so it was really hard to keep track of, especially, if you like to listen to books on tape like I like to do. And so, but it kind of doesn't actually matter. Maybe if I was using yarn that has a lot more definition, it would matter, but it's going to work out. I noticed that the cable kind of ignores it anyway, you'd think, but mostly it's just to set up the ribbing. So when I first started doing my podcast, I thought I was going to have all these great ideas to share with you guys about knitting in the field. Of course, I have my Twisted Willow bag, which is great. I've decided that a very durable bag is a very good field tip, especially one that closes really good. Stuff falls out in my backpack if it doesn't close good. Durable, and but I just wanted to say that I actually carry my iPod out in the field. I'll come out. I've been out here about an hour or more now, and I'll actually listen to a book on tape out in the middle of nowhere while I knit. It's that bad. I am that addicted. But I could never just knit. I have to get out and about too. So there's more back at camp. I'll share with you. The best is coming along, and yeah. Let's go run around some more in the beautiful, beautiful golden afternoon light. See ya. Well, it's true what they say. Getting down is harder than going up. Oh, but it's so fun. Just playing with gravity. It does feel like nobody's ever been in some of these places. You never know what you're going to find in the nooks and crannies. The comfortable nook and haven of the pinyon pine and the scrub oak, or get out onto these rocks below and you feel like you're in a giant's mansion stairway, or look around and the whole world looks like cookie dough. It's pretty fun. guess we'll get off the rocks. We can always get back on them. They're everywhere. Down in the valleys again, where all of the little washed particles come. The rocks flake off and turn to boulders, and the boulders clomb together and fall over and land on each other and roll down the hill. They turn into little bits of sand and they pile up down here. And the squirrels and the chipmunks love it. The snakes, there's rattlesnakes and lizards and gophers, and you can imagine the flow when it rains with all those hard surfaces above. It has nowhere to go but down to the valley. And you can imagine when it's really pouring out here in January or December, this is probably maybe calf deep. I love fluvial expression. It's everywhere, even in places with little rainfall. Yay! Some serious blooms. And in and around all these rodent holes, there's a lot of scat. And by a lot, I mean a lot. I don't mean just one or two. I mean everywhere you look. I get the sense that the coyotes and maybe foxes are out here just scouring the base where all the rodents live and feasting. And the rodents probably love it here because it's soft and easy to dig, and this is where all the water comes first and where all the nuts and berries and bushes are growing because this is where all the water is. So there's a tiny little ecosystem in here.
Yes, this is a beetle standing on his head. Well, I think it's stuffing its face into something. But it is undoubtedly beautiful. What are you doing? Is he hiding? Is he freaked out by me? He was walking when I first saw it.
Isn't camp cute? Hidden Valley. We're over there, right in the middle. At the base of the big, big boulder. Woohoo!